Picture this. A galaxy at war. Countless alien civilizations fighting desperately just to survive. Their fleets breaking. Their worlds burning. Their hope fading. And through it all, one thought repeats again and again. If only humanity were still here. Because once, long ago, humans were the game changers. They were the warriors, the explorers, the force that no one could ever ignore. But then they vanished, their fleets scattered, their homeworld silent. And now, when the galaxy needs them most, humanity is nothing more than a legend whispered among the stars. Or so everyone thought. In the far future, the galaxy is in chaos. Empires rise and fall. Alien races battle endlessly for control of star systems. And the war has dragged on for so long that victory feels impossible. Civilizations that were once proud and powerful now tremble on the edge of extinction. But hidden beneath all the destruction is a single truth that every alien species remembers in their own way. The galaxy has not been the same since humanity disappeared. You see, humans were not the strongest, nor the most advanced, but they had something different. Something that made them dangerous and inspiring at the same time. They were bold, unpredictable, and willing to fight even when all odds were against them. When humans fought alongside the aliens, battles that should have been lost turned into victories. When humans explored the stars, they pushed further and faster than anyone else. Their fleets carried a reputation that shook enemies to their core and gave allies hope when none remained. But one day, humanity was gone. Some say they destroyed themselves, others say they retreated to rebuild, and many believed they had simply faded into history. Without them, the galaxy became darker, crueler, and far less certain. For centuries, aliens spoke of humans only in stories, some terrifying, some hopeful, yet always with a sense of longing. If only the humans were still here, they would whisper as battles raged and hope slipped away. To many, humanity had become more myth than reality. A ghost race whose legacy was too bright to be forgotten but too distant to believe in. And in that desperate silence, as alien worlds fell one after another, no one truly expected what would come next. The return of the forgotten fleet. And then, the whispers began. At first, no one believed them. Rumors spread through the outer colonies, carried like ghost stories. Sightings of enormous ships drifting in the dark, their hulls marked with strange symbols from a forgotten age. Could it be true? Could humanity's fleet, lost for centuries, still exist? The galaxy was drowning in war and hope was vanishing fast when the rumors started to spread. A trading convoy swore they had seen massive warships in the void, vessels older than any they had ever encountered, yet still alive with power. Refugees fleeing the front lines claimed a fleet of giants had appeared out of nowhere, silent and terrifying, moving like predators through the stars. At first, these tales were dismissed as desperate fantasies, just the wishful thinking of those who still dreamed of the humans' return. But then the sightings became more frequent. And slowly, a chilling truth began to emerge. The humans had not vanished completely. Somewhere out in the dark, their fleet had endured. These ships were nothing like the modern vessels of the alien empires. They were older, heavier, carrying scars of ancient battles and designs no one had seen in living memory. Yet they radiated strength, the kind that made seasoned commanders tremble. The aliens could hardly believe it. This was the forgotten fleet, humanity's legacy, preserved across centuries as if waiting for the right moment to awaken. For the first time in generations, the galaxy felt something it had almost forgotten: hope. Entire star systems buzzed with the news. Could it really be them? Were the humans truly coming back? For species who had only heard stories, this was the stuff of legend suddenly made real. And for those who had once fought alongside humanity, the thought alone was enough to bring tears of joy. The forgotten fleet was not just a group of old warships, it was a promise. A promise that the humans were not finished, that they would return to stand beside their allies, and that the galaxy might yet see a dawn after endless nights of war. The galaxy watched in silence as the forgotten fleet moved into formation. No one spoke, no one breathed. And then, with a thunder that shook the stars themselves, humanity returned to war. When the forgotten fleet finally emerged from the shadows, it was like watching legends step out of myth and into reality. Ship after colossal ship slid into position, their armored hulls scarred by centuries yet still burning with power, their weapon systems glowing like the eyes of ancient beasts ready to strike. To the enemy, it was a nightmare. For so long they had believed humanity gone, a threat buried by time. To see their war machines return was like seeing ghosts rise from the grave. And these ghosts were angry. The first engagement was brutal and decisive. Alien fleets that had crushed resistance for years suddenly found themselves outmatched. Human warships didn't just fight, they tore through the enemy with precision, as if the long years of silence had only sharpened their skill. Every broadside, every strike reminded the galaxy why humanity had once been feared and admired in equal measure. But it wasn't just about destruction. For the alien civilizations barely clinging to survival, the sight of humanity fighting again was like fire to frozen hearts. Where once there was despair, now there was courage. Commanders who had been preparing for defeat suddenly rallied their forces, inspired by the humans' relentless advance. Whole species began to believe again, and as the battles raged, one thing became clear. This was not a race returning for conquest. This was a rescue. Humanity's fleet had come not only to fight, but to save those who had once fought alongside them. In the dark of endless war, the humans returned like a storm, and with them came hope, roaring louder than the guns of any enemy. In the end, it wasn't just about battles won or enemies defeated. It was about what humanity's return meant, for the galaxy, and for everyone who had almost given up hope. The Forgotten Fleet did more than just turn the tide of war. It reignited something that had almost been lost forever: belief. The aliens who once thought of humans as dangerous, unpredictable, and reckless now saw those same traits in a different light. Humanity's stubborn refusal to vanish, their courage in the face of impossible odds, their ability to rise again even after centuries of silence, all of it reminded the galaxy of what made humans extraordinary. They weren't perfect and they weren't invincible, but they had a spirit that no enemy could ever erase. To some, the humans were warriors, to others, saviors, and to all, they were proof that even when the universe seems darkest, light can still return. That is the essence of every HFY story. Humans are not special because of their technology or their strength, but because of their resilience, their creativity, and their refusal to surrender. And so, as the Forgotten Fleet roared back into battle, the galaxy rejoiced not just for the victory, but for the return of something far greater: hope. Now imagine yourself there, standing on an alien world looking up as humanity's ships streak across the sky. What would you feel? Fear, relief, joy? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more HFY adventures, and share it with anyone who loves epic tales of humanity's place among the stars. Because in the end, this isn't just a story about aliens, it's a story about us.